The next joint you will modify will be the rigid joint that is between the column and the cover plate. So if we highlight that joint, you will see that it's between the cover plate and the column. You'll do a right mouse button click, edit joint, and we want to pull the cover plate off of the column slightly. And click on OK, and you start to see again that this is being exploded. Another joint we need to modify will be basically moving the rack pad or the rack up. So we need to find the joint that exists between the rack and the column. So if we look in the browser, the slider joint between the rack and the column, we'll do a right mouse button click, select edit joint, click on the arrow to move this rack up out of the slot that is in the column, and click on OK. So what you will notice when we did that is the rack pad also went up with the rack, and that's because the joint between those two parts is still intact. So we'll need to find the joint that is between the rack pad and the rack. So the rack pad and the rack, do a right mouse button click on this one, edit joint, and we want to move the rack pad down and click on OK just to see where it kind of fits. So we don't want it, in this case, we don't want it to interfere with the table. So we need to go back and modify that. The rack pad and the rack, edit joint, and we'll kind of move it up some. Okay, so that's kind of the place where we probably want it to show up. As we start to disassemble this or create the exploded view, more of this, we may have to make some more modifications to the location of the rack pad, for example, because again, we don't want it to interfere with the table. So we want to make sure we can distinguish all of the parts when we create the exploded view.